welcome back. Zen and I have made some awesome progress this week. This video blog is going to be a little bit short. We are currently 95 days out from the competition, and this video shows how I went about getting a halter back on Zen and got to this next step in our training program, which is to put a halter on her, get her used to me approaching her on my terms, being able to walk around her entire body, pet her, groom her, braid her mane. All of these are things that we accomplished on this one day of training. So stay tuned and enjoy. So as you saw in that fast forward bit of our training montage at the beginning of this video, I've spent a lot of time with Zen on the end of this rope, where I've approached, touched her nose, touched her shoulder, and then retreated. Some of those times she's not totally okay with it. Some of those times she is. It's just part of the training process. My goal is to get her as comfortable with these normal aspects of living with humans as I possibly can. That has led us to this point, where I feel like I can carry the halter with me over my shoulder, and that when I get up to her shoulder, I'm going to be able to put it on without her feeling the need to completely spook off during the middle of that process. I can touch her all over her face at this point. Sure, she's still a little bit tense, but these are decisions that I'm making because we're in a 100-day training competition, and we have less than 100 days left. So I'm going a little bit fast, but I'm not going so fast that she's above her fear and anxiety threshold and feels the need to run away from me. I'm rubbing her with the halter. I've done this before. All of these things are preparing her for the fact that I'm going to put it around her nose in a second. The way that I went about approaching this, rather than trying to get my hands up above her ears, I took the tail of that halter and dropped it over the opposite side of her neck. That way I could use my left hand to pick it up and guide it over her nose. The tying end of the halter is already over her ears, so it was pretty easy for me to pull that into place and tie it off. As you can see, she stood pretty still for this entire process because she's a wonderful horse, and when you do all of the groundwork that we've been doing up to this point, things are going to start moving pretty fast. She's going to start accepting her training pretty fast, and our work together is really going to start picking up speed. This is always the coolest part to get to when I'm training horses, and I never cease to be blown away by how much they're willing to do in such a short period of time when you just put the work in to teaching them how to learn. As you can see, Zen is pretty okay with everything that just happened to her, and yes, this is the first time I have ever tried to halter her on my own. That was the biggest non-event of our training so far. I absolutely love this about this horse, and she's going to just be such a cool animal for whoever gets to take her home in the future. The video does cut out pretty soon. My GoPro died, but the way that we wrapped up this day, because this all happened pretty quickly, and she was, maybe 30 minutes into our session when I got the halter on her. We spent the rest of the day together on the end of the lead line. She ground tied. I practiced leading a little bit with the halter instead of the rope around her neck. I approached and got a brush out and brushed her all over her body. She was fine with all of that. And then I even braided her mane from top to bottom, and she was totally fine with that too. So fine, in fact, that I even pulled out the fly spray at the very end of the day and practiced fly spraying her. Sometimes fly spray is something that horses are really frightened of, but for Zen, because she has so much trust in me at this point, and I have not done anything to hurt her yet, she took the first fly spray, thought about it for a second, licked and chewed, and then stood still with a leg cocked and her head hanging low and relaxed while I fly sprayed the rest of her body. This is pretty great. We've gotten pretty far in our training, and I'm pretty proud of how far this horse has come along. I'm going to stop talking now. In the next video, we have a lot of stuff to cover because, like I said, the training starts going fast. But here, I'll let you guys watch until the video cuts out, and you can see what it looked like for that day where I got the halter on Zen.